Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. Of course, I am your host, Scott Lewis. Here with my co-host, JR Bang. You know to follow us on all social media platforms at Barbchair Scott, at JR Bang, at Barbchair Co. You know, all the links, man. Subscribe to all the links. Subscribe to the Patreon. If you want everything first, any type of content coming from my YouTube channel, coming from the Barber's Chair, anything, 79th and Hallis, you need to subscribe there. You can click to the link in the description box, or you can scan the QR code right here on the screen. And while you also at it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm calling it Scott's World of Sports. It sounds basic, but sometimes basic works, and that one's growing on me. So that's what we're going to do. We got a lot of content on there right now. NBA content, soccer content, NFL content. Me and Pavi did a NBA preview. So, you know what I'm saying? But, Van, you just got a call. So, Van's got to step out for a minute. We'll bring you. Well, you on mute. I can't hear you.
I'm good until they call.
Okay, all right.
I'm good until they call.
Yeah, because your mic is coming in and out.
Oh yeah, now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but just a second.
Oh yeah, because now I got the two screens up, so that's why. Okay. So we all good.
Well, let the people know how you doing while I adjust my camera real quick.
Hey man, I was good until I got this message saying, yo, I gotta holler at you real quick. But no, man, it's Friday. It's 82 degrees. It's Friday. It's 82 degrees. The kid is asking me about banana bread. It's about to be a rainstorm outside. Apparently, it's a tornado watch that came to my alert, came to my phone and everything. So all is well. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, good weather in the city. I also too got a tornado watch. No tornado warning, which means I don't have to go anywhere. Sometimes use tornado warning, depending. I'll go in the basement because I'm a little bit too close.
You actually go to the
suburb? Yeah, I do, because I'm not going to get swooped up. Like, I've seen a funnel cloud not that far away from where the crib is.
Word?
Yeah, I've seen it. Like, I'm not that far from, like, Oak Lawn.
Look, I live in Plainfield. And
yeah, I know y'all probably see him out there.
Oh, in Plainfield, I think it was 1991 was one of the biggest tornado disasters in the country.
Yeah, but I only do that like if it's like super severe. Like, this is the blackest thing ever. When you can smell smell a tornado.
Oh yeah, when you smell that rain and you know it's coming.
Yeah. And I'm like, I might have to go downstairs for a little bit. But outside of that, I think it was last year during I think Beyonce was in town and it was pouring like a motherfucker. And the tornado sirens went off. So sometimes they go off, I'll go downstairs, but not that much, man. But yeah, doing good. Big sports weekend, NBA playoffs. I'm ready for my soccer team to have me wanting for this to be over by the end of the week. We had a big game on Sunday. If you watch the sport, shout out everybody who's watched Soccer for Dummies. A lot of people have been watching it. A lot more people have been watching than I thought they would. So shout out to y'all. We can win the title this week, mathematically almost. So, yes, my heart is pumping out of my chest 48 hours ahead of time. I haven't dealt with this since Bears Packers. So, and that was the worst week of my life.
Yeah, and it's WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania weekend. So
It's in
today,
Vegas, right?
yeah, it's in Vegas. Today is the SmackDown before WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania Friday. So the Hall of Fame is gonna be tonight too. We got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that's gonna be going down. Stephanie McMahon, Demolition, Bad News Brown, and AJ Styles tonight in the Hall of Fame induction.
What, Stephanie and Triple H going in the same year?
No, Triple H went last year.
Oh, he went last year.
Yeah, he went last year, the year before, so he's already in. But Stephanie's in tonight. AJ Styles, Demolition, Psycho Sid Vicious, and shouts out to the brother Bad News Brown. He would be in the Hall of Fame too. Then we got the WrestleMania Saturday, headlined by Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns on Saturday. On Sunday, Saturday it is not Cody Rhodes, excuse me. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. On Saturday, and on Sunday, Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So we'll see if these predictions that me and Camp got on First Black Champ right there, we'll see if those come true. So y'all make sure y'all check it out.
Yeah, check all that out. The Rock's still not in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, he's in. Yeah.
When did he get in?
He got in a couple of years ago.
He did? How did I miss that?
Yeah, I don't know how you missed that one. Muhammad Ali's wife baby mama gave him a belt and everything. Yeah, Rock in.
He went the Hall of Fame. That's crazy. I don't remember that at all. I remember her giving him the belt, but I didn't know it was for him though. Like it was his induction. Huh.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch that. Maybe I remember. I just got to see it again. But anyway, let's talk about the Chicago Sky in our first segment of the day. I'm not gonna hold you. Where we just talk about nothing that's really too big to talk about on the rundown, but we'll get some thoughts. So last week we came on here, we were talking about the Chicago Sky getting rid of Andrew Reese. In that time, they have reloaded. Forget about on the court, even though I think they got much better on the court. They got some fine women on this team right now. You got Skylar Diggins. You got how you pronounce her name? I know I'm
talking about Rakia Jackson?
No, not Rakia. I know Rakia. Rakia Jackson. DeJounte?
Dejanay or DeJounte?
Dejanay. Yeah. We messing everybody's name up today.
Hey,
Carrington. They had a good draft this week. They really rebranding right now. They really rebranding right now. I like what they're doing. I might even just pop up the Win Trust for a game or two.
Oh.
Depending. I would like to see. But I do like how Skylar Diggins said. And by the way, if Damien's watching, or when he watches later, he's gonna call bullshit. So because I've been trying to get you to go to a Sparks game forever.
I'm calling it too, shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to go. Before Bears training camp starts. If I can find me, how much do WNBA tickets usually talk?
A dub.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, you say you don't know. I'm thinking you know.
Nah, I know. We got to ask Illy on that.
Yeah, we got to get Illy on.
Illy got the good tickets. So, yeah, we got to ask Illy on that.
Illy is the Sky's Spike Lee. That's exactly what he is, man. But, yeah, they've re-upped. They had a good draft. They drafted, what's his name, Gabriella
Yaquez.
Her brother is on the Miami Heat.
Yep.
So shout out to her. But yeah, shout out to the Sky, man. Shout out to the Sky. They reloaded. So we're gonna see how that ends up. But speaking of WNBA, we gotta talk about this situation that happened this week with what's her name? AZ Fudd?
Yes, AZ Fudd, yep.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Did she used to date Paige Buchers?
No, ain't no used to.
Allegedly.
Ain't no used to. They have allegedly been a couple for a while now. Last year, Paige Buchers was the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, and that's when people started to go, wait a minute, hold on, they're a little bit too close now. They taking solo pictures together. They say they're a little bit too close now. So Paige was the number one pick again in the draft last year. And the UConn team came to support. Let me first say that it wasn't just AZ Foot there with her. The whole squad came there to support. But when it came time for them to take pictures and all of that, they were very close and stuff. And Paige said a couple of things. So people took it to be a couple, similar to Jaden Daniels and Jaden
And
Daniels
his cousin.
and his cousin, right? Jaden Daniels and his cousin and stuff, right? So now AZ is the number one pick in the draft, and now they're both on the same team, and that's how all of that happens.
Okay. Now here's my thing with this. People are saying that her team was shut down the questions of people being asked that. And I know I saw a lot of journalists were saying, you need to be able to ask these questions. I agree. I don't think that actual journalists or anybody in these press conference that most questions should be off limits. I mean, if you're gonna be in a relationship or something that looks like a relationship with another prominent player in public, you got to imagine those questions are going to be asked.
Yep.
And I feel like there could have been a way that she could have answered that without us also not being in her business. Like just automatically cutting it off. It's kind of crazy to me.
Well, I think this was more the fault of the Dallas PR than it was for AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd could simply just been like, next question or something like that and moved on. They didn't give it a chance. They didn't give her a chance to answer that. So they made this more of a story than it needs to be. We've had celebrities in sports date celebrities in film. The difference is with this, when it comes to most items in the WNBA, is that there are women on teams that are dating each other. Let's put it like this. If they are officially dating, this is the first time that I could think of in the history of sport where two people dating each other were the number one picks in the draft and picked by the same team. So when you look at AZ Fudd and you look at Paige Beckers was the number one pick last year. AZ Fudd's the number one pick this year. They're dating. They're being the same backcourt. No, AZ would be the two. Paige would be the one. So this sets up to one of those love and basketball type of situations.
Which is going to be interesting because I follow Paige on Instagram and she definitely posted her chick on there today. Like, moving like a nigga, 100%.
Wait, she posted AZ?
Yeah. No, not her. Somebody else.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they
not
ain't.
too long ago. Yeah. If my eyes don't deceive me, let me see. Let me double check.
Yeah, because then that would make it even more interesting if they are not together. But
yep. Look at her last. What's that thing called?
Story.
Carousel dump. Her last IG dump.
Carousel dump.
Yeah, she got her shorty on there when it was in Croatia.
Oh man.
Yeah, and she went to. Yeah, she's a Croatian basketball player.
Wait a minute, is that? Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. See, this is why. Okay. Damn, I don't want to get this into a Kiki podcast, G. I don't want to get this into a Kiki podcast.
This gonna be
this. Oh man, come on, this is wild. Nah. Oh no, man. Oh no. Now the reason why I say fam, I don't know, is because this is Nikki. I want to say you have to pronounce her last name is Nikki Mule. Nikki Mule also played for UConn.
Oh, okay.
She also played for UConn. She also was drafted in the WNBA 2025 draft last year. She was drafted by the Seattle Storm, but she tore her ACL. See, I know a little bit about WNBA,
you know
y'all.
a little bit.
I know a little
WNBA
bit.
bang.
Hey Shakia, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, don't holla at me. And let me know if I'm wrong. But no, Nikki Mule, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. But she was the backup point guard for Paige Beckers last year in Seattle, in UConn. But she was drafted by the Seattle Storm at the back end of the WNBA draft last year. She tore her ACL. I want to say she tore both of her ACLs.
Damn.
I want to say that, but she was drafted by Portland, the Portland Fire, in the expansion draft. For her, Paige, and AZ all went to UConn together, same time. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, if that, I think that's the homie.
I don't know. She got multiple pictures.
Yeah, I
That,
know, but I think that. But see, that's the weirdness about that is. Let me not use weirdness, all right? Because that's people's relationships and all that. And that sounds bad. But that's the right. I don't want to be problematic, but that is the storyline outside of the sports part when it comes to the WNBA, because you do have women that are dating other women on the team. There's been like I saw something on Instagram the other day where you had, I think it's like Jackie Young was dating Dejanay, but Dejanay was dating somebody. So it is definitely a love and basketball type reality show type of situation. It's a lot of that in the WNBA. And there's probably that in the NBA. We just don't know about it. But in the WNBA, it's a little bit more prevalent. So when somebody hey, you know I ain't lying, fam. There's probably some dudes that love each other in the NBA and they just ain't saying nothing. All right. Shouts out to John Amici. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm getting at is that is the underlying storyline when you have two people that was or rumored to be in a relationship that's going to be playing in the same backcourt.
Yeah.
So AZ Fudd could have very easily negated all of that question, the talk or whatever like that, but the Dallas PR, who's not used to this. See, that's the other thing too. You see how I'll use the word in this immature, not in a bad way, but more in a we're not used to this type of situation. I've seen people chastise the Chicago Sky because they like, yo, y'all could have made this press conference for Skylar Diggins and company a little bit bigger. It seemed like y'all was in somebody's like basement or whatever. The WNBA is still new in a lot of areas when it comes to a lot of things.
Yeah, they dealing with new money now too.
They dealing with new money and stuff too. And this situation right here was probably new to the Dallas Wings and their PR staff, and they didn't handle it well. And that's enough from J.R. Bang in the WNBA because he don't know diddly squad.
That's enough. If I'm not gonna hold you, clock it edition. All right, enough of that. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is funny. When women be doing this, that shit be having me rolling. But and also speaking of money, I know Aaliyah Boston just got a 4-year extension for $6.3 million. Which is big money for the WNBA.
That's them supermax.
That's wild. Who gets $6.3 million in the NBA? The water boy?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry gets more than $6.3 million.
He do?
Yes.
What's Steph Curry contract?
That's more than $6.3 million.
Let me see.
I can guarantee that.
No. Oh, it's a 1 year. It's a 1 year, $2.78 million contract. So.
Who? Steph Curry?
Seth, not Steph.
Oh, you said Seth.
Yes, I meant Seth. Excuse me. But Seth gets more than that. So yeah, because I think because their max is, I want to say their max is 1.4 million. So Matt McClung, no, he gets less than them.
That's crazy.
Like Matt McClung should be playing in overseas.
Yeah, he shouldn't be in the NBA.
He's the all-time lead scorer in the G League, I believe, now. Historic.
On the Bulls too. But let's move on to our actual rundown. So last week on this program, we were talking about the Dianna Russini, Mike Vrabel situation. By the way, shout out to everybody who appreciated me putting Ron Isley busted on our reel from that segment this week. Y'all are real ball knowers. But Bang, you said that I think there's going to be more to this because the Athletic is now opening the investigation again. So they reopened it, and a couple days ago, she stepped down. Now, her contract was set to end on June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what verbiage was said. If you ask me, from my history of dealing in corporate and with entertainment and sports, I think they told her, we're not going to re-up your contract. So you can step down now with a little bit of dignity. Maybe we'll pay you up front or something. I don't know, whatever the deal was. And we just move on. That's what I think happened. Now, it's also funny that today a story comes out on page 6 about Dianna Russini saving an old man from a car accident. Sounds like good PR to me. Obviously, she actually did it because we see the pictures in the post. But I know the PR person was like, drop this. Because she's been killed the last couple of days. You know, and it's kind of like what you said. I think Jamel Hill said the same thing you said about this is a private investigator. Like the way those pictures were taken, there's no reason for you to just be stalking Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini. There's some other reason here. But her and a lot of others were saying that a lot of the unfair attention is going to Dianna Russini. And I agree. And I don't mean to come off harsh when I say this, but that's just how it is. It's messed up, and it shouldn't be the point. Both of them cheated on their significant others or their spouses. Allegedly cheated on their spouses. And it's unfair that the woman is getting more shit than the man. But I will say this. The man has not been quoted saying foul things about his wife like she has about her husband. I know more about her husband than I need to. From the multiple times that she is basically Jada Pinkett Smith his ass. And me, Jada take every opportunity to shoot at Will Smith. Unprovoked.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that y'all had separate houses. I didn't know y'all had separate houses. And I didn't even know that he ain't moved back in yet. I didn't even know all that. And I feel like she's just giving us so much unnecessary stuff.
I mean, it feels like Buddy ass ain't moved back in because every time we turn around, he got a TV
you start
show
you get on a podcast.
Yeah, still been working. He dropped the album. He been working all that stuff. It feel like he did all that because every time we see him, he working.
And I just want to say, I'm not gonna sit up here. First of all, I'm not even gonna say we've talked about too many relationships on this show. All right,
we did.
It's getting real moist on here. So anyway, let's get to the facts of this story.
Getting real Mario. real Jenny Jones.
Right. Real Sally Jesse Raphael. Right now, I threw a throwback name with y'all. Ricky Lake. So let's get to the facts.
Drop that 0 and get yourself a hero.
The facts are a lot of people feel that her journalistic career is going to be, unfortunately, hurt by this. I don't think it will. I think we're going to care about this for a couple more weeks. I think by the time football season actually starts, she'll either go indie or there'll be another outlet ready to do it. Yeah, probably Stu.
Oh, Stu already said, yo, I got it.
Pause on the moisture.
Yeah, Stu Goss already said, yo, she gonna have a job. I got her.
Stu or Dan, who will be the first to sign her?
Oh, Stu, because Dan was looking nervous as hell talking about it.
Yeah, Dan
Stu was like, nah, she's straight. Stu is the only person in media that's been out there like, yo, that's my girl. I got her. If they do something stupid like that, she's sliding over here with me.
Yeah, Dan has been real. That's the home girl, but I need to be a journalist at the same time. Where everybody on Levitard like, man, fuck that. She one of the homies. We shouldn't be doing all that shit. I'm gonna let y'all know. If that was my own girl, I'd be very biased. I'd be on there like, did you know he had a drinking problem?
Look, man, look. It was some reporter that came out that said that said what I believe happened, which is somebody hired a private investigator. He went as far as to say that it was her husband that did it. It was her husband that did it, which was quite interesting that he was saying it was her husband because when TMZ, or not TMZ, excuse me, when Page 6 put out the photos, they had said that it was Mike Vrabel and a woman. They didn't say Dianna Russini and a guy. They didn't say Dianna Russini and Mike Vrabel. They said Mike Vrabel and a woman was seen. So I don't know how true that is, because if her husband was really out there like, FTB, then I would think that her husband would sell those photos and be like, yo, say it was her, because
Yeah.
she's out here doing this to me. The one thing that I will bring up that I brought up last week is the fact that Mike Vrabel's wife has not come out with a statement.
Nope.
Dianna Russini's husband has not came out with a statement. That is why, for me, that is the most interesting part about this.
I think it's interesting from the husband perspective. I'm not really shocked that the wife of the New England Patriots hasn't.
No, I know, because the New England Patriots would have been like, "Yo, hey, we need your help in getting out."
You think
you'd
you'd wanted her to put out a statement?
Yeah. If Mike Vrabel was clean, it would have already came out. So there's that right there. And to even get out in front of it as a husband or wife, I think in the next 2 to 3 weeks, after the draft and after pre-draft camp, after voluntary workouts and rookie camp, you're gonna get a statement from Mike Vrabel and his wife announcing their separation. Because she ain't said shit. He ain't said nothing either. But she ain't said nothing. I think after rookie mini camp, or right before,
which is next month.
Right. So either before or after it, but around that time, we're going to get a statement that reads that we're separated, and we were probably already separated at that time. Now, with the Dianna Russini thing, to me, that is interesting, because if I know my wife ain't on bullshit, I'm supporting my wife no matter what. Or if I believe that my wife is not on bullshit, I'm supporting her no matter what. Like, nah, my wife ain't doing nothing like that, and y'all not gonna put my wife out there like she's some type of hoe.
Right.
So
that's why I said I'm more shocked that I haven't heard from the husband.
But that makes me believe. But the reason why I'm not shocked is because when you listen to some of the things that's been said, maybe it ain't been sunshine and rainbows this whole time. But for Mike, when it comes to Mike Vrabel, that's the NFL. He is a member of the NFL. So that shield is gonna protect itself. That's why I believe
especially the New England Patriots.
Right, especially that with their history. So that's why I believe either before or after rookie camp, there's going to be a statement that reads that Mike Vrabel and his wife has been separated before that, and yada, yada, yada. They probably trying to work something out, but I think you'll get something like that on the means, but still protect Dianna Russini and say, but that's the homie, all of that. Dianna Russini, it was very interesting that her husband ain't say nothing. But then when you look at all of the same things that were said and stuff, it's like, maybe it ain't that. Maybe it ain't that shocking, because maybe Dianna Russini sounds like, in those clips, like somebody who cared more about her work than she did about her marriage, because this is the same person the day before she got married. She said that she was talking to an athlete for a story. He was like, yo, you sure you want to do this now? So it just seems like that was probably going in a different way based off of what we heard. We don't know.
And even if you feel that way, now granted, I am not a married man here. I personally don't play like that.
No.
First joke, we'd have had a conversation. Even if they joke like that with each other, cool.
I'll be back, Scott.
Us. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go. Bang has things to talk about. So you guys are stuck with me. I don't know why I clicked on the camera like that. So anyway, we are here. What I was saying, what was I saying? We're live, people, so deal with me. I'm having a brain fart right now. Oh yeah, Dianna Russini. For me, like I said, I'm not a married man. But if you play like that with each other, cool. But don't be doing that shit in public. That's just me. Anyway, enough of relationship talk. It has been about 30 minutes we have spent on this to start this show. But these are unfortunately sports highlights. Not sport highlights, sports headlines. I would love to talk about some NFL. But unfortunately, we are heading into the most uneventful, non-headline having NFL draft that I can remember in recent history. I've actually forgotten that the NFL draft was next week. I was like, oh, Michael Jackson movie come out Thursday. I need to go see that. I will be seeing that movie a week later because I refuse to be at the movie theater with people who cosplay like Michael Jackson. I just want to say this. Me personally, y'all call me Mr. No Fun. That's fine. I don't think adults should be cosplaying. This is not Comic-Con. If you are not going to Comic-Con, and even I think that's a little weird, and I am still a big proponent of do what makes you happy. But I remember when I went to go see Black Panther, it was an interesting weekend in LA. It was the same weekend of All-Star Weekend, and Nipsey Hussle's album came out. And Moggs was wearing dashikis, a whole bunch of Wakanda garments to the movies. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the 9 a.m. show on Sunday. So I ain't got to see this. But anyway, I say all that to say this. I ain't going to be seeing people dressed up Michael Jackson. All right. Then when I'm going to go see the Tupac movie, there was a dude outside the theater yelling, Tupac was an activist. I'm like, no, he wasn't. All right, like, I love Pac. Pac wasn't no damn activist, all right? But anyway, so I say all to say this. I forgot the NFL draft was going to be next week. So we'll see how that is. Already gotten an email.
You forgot already?
I forgot because number one, we got the 25th pick.
Oh, yeah, we don't care no more.
And you already know how I feel about this offseason from our general manager. I have given it to God. I would love to be wrong. And then more and more, from I hear from my colleagues and my peers in the Chicago media space, don't expect much this Thursday. All right. And it's from very reliable people. But yeah. So what we were talking about with the NFL was I already got an email from the Bears about media availability next week. So we're going to start getting back to the thing. Okay, now he's back in. So we already getting to kind of like getting back into the NFL season. You got the NFL draft this month. Next month, you got OTAs starting. You got rookie minicamp. And in June, you got mandatory minicamp. Then you got that little 6-week break. Before you know it, boom, training camp again. So we'll see how that goes. But let's talk about another Chicago team that is not the Chicago Bears. It's the Chicago Bulls. So we all know what happened last week. AKME got fired. The search for a new president of basketball operations and a new general manager is on. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen with Billy Donovan. Now, Billy Donovan met with Michael Reinsdorf this past Tuesday, I think it was, when the NBA season ended, which was this past Sunday. The play-in has already started. In fact, tonight, you got the last two play-in games. You got the Sixers taking on the Hornets, and you got the Warriors taking on the Suns. The winner of Warriors Suns gets a trip to Oklahoma City, take on Shea and the defending champion Thunder. And the winner of Charlotte and Philadelphia will head on an airplane and go to Detroit, Michigan to take on Cade Cunningham and them Detroit Pistons. But the Bulls, we're still waiting to hear from Billy Donovan. So they basically saying if Billy wants to keep the job, it's his. We heard that Billy has flown back to Florida. He's mulling over and everything. Here's my opinion on what should happen. I have no issue if Billy Donovan wants to stay. I've always said for a couple years now, I don't think Billy Donovan is the issue with this team. The issue with this team is the lack of talent, which fell on the now employed front office of the Chicago Bulls. That's not to say Billy was great. I mean, when you have a team that's been as bad as the Bulls in his tenure, obviously as a head coach, you got to take some blame there. He's not the main thing. And I feel like if they want to bring in a new regime in with the coach, it could work, but I think you're risking too much. I think when you're looking for setting a new culture and getting a new president and getting a new general manager, you need to let them pick their guy because that doesn't always work. I mean, we saw it with Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even though they said Ryan Poles hired Matt Eberflus, but you don't hire somebody when you just got hired 48 hours before them. So I never believed that to begin that. When his guy is Ben Johnson, and so far that's been working well. So if you're gonna restart this Bulls new era, and as Bang has said, this is gonna be the most important offseason for the Chicago Bulls. You're cleaning house in the front office. You're gonna have at worst a top 5 pick. You're gonna have the most cap space in the NBA this offseason. And you got a big boost on Tuesday when Portland beat Phoenix to advance to the first round of playoffs to play San Antonio. The Bulls don't get one. They get 2 first-round draft picks in this year's draft. So you include that with their own pick, that's 3 first-rounders. That's a perfect start to your rebuild. And as solid of a coach as Billy is, we know he's a Hall of Famer, and I know people get mad when you call Billy Hall of Famer because obviously he's not a Hall of Fame NBA coach. He's in the Hall of Fame because he had those 2 great Florida teams that won back-to-back national titles with Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and that whole team. We understand that. But he's a solid coach. For me, I tell Billy, thank you for your contributions to the franchise. We appreciate you. We're going to go in another direction. But the fact that Billy's thinking about it and hasn't immediately said, yeah, I'm going to come back, makes me think one of 2 things. One, he wants to go somewhere else to coach. Maybe he goes to coach the Orlando Magic. We'll see how their season ends. I hope it ends tonight because I'd much rather see LaMelo in the playoffs than anybody on the Orlando Magic. But that could be it. Or maybe he just doesn't want to coach anymore and he wants to pull a Brad Stevens and move into the front office. We're talking about Billy Donovan, decision looming. He met with Michael Reinsdorf on Monday or Tuesday after the season ended. Basically, the question I'm asking is, do you think the Bulls are just better off telling Billy, yo, you did a good job, but we're going to start from scratch?
We got to start. I think we're going to start from scratch. I really do think we're going to start from scratch. I believe that if Billy Donovan was going to stay, then we would have already known it. Because now the last thing that I saw today was that John Paxson was back involved in some.
See, I read that, but I was praying that wasn't from a legitimate source because I saw that on
right, and I said that too. But then I had to think about it, and I was like,
it makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh yeah, it pisses me off too. But I was like, who else would be from this standpoint? It would be nobody else but the person.
Also, John Paxson never got fired, which I think is a myth that a lot of Bulls fans believe. He got paid to just go away.
He's consulting.
Yes.
So he never went away. So because of all of those reasons, you can't tell me that Billy Donovan is going to be here, because if that was going to be the case, then we would have known that already, especially with the Bulls having 2 first-round picks now, and knowing everything else that they have. Billy Donovan, if he was going to be the head coach of the Chicago Bulls, they would have said it already. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. I also believe that Billy Donovan still might be looking at Orlando.
Yeah,
I heard you talking about that. I think he might be looking at the Orlando situation and is just waiting to look and see what happens, because they did shit the bed the other day, and a lot of people feel like they're going to lose tonight. So I can foresee a world where Billy Donovan becomes the head coach of the Orlando Magic, and then the Bulls will be looking for a new head coach.
And it's like what you said. It's the most important summer for the Bulls.
Most important.
You were teetering. I mean, you've already been irrelevant. You can argue if you're one of the most irrelevant franchises in basketball, but it can't get worse. This is the perfect situation for you. Clean house in the front office, clean house on the coach. You got the most cap space this offseason. You're going to have 3 first-round picks with your pick and the 2 you got because Portland beat Phoenix the other night. This is a great opportunity to at least start to build this franchise back up. And I personally don't have any faith they're going to do it right. I got to see it. But this is a great start. And you need to tell John Paxson to stay far the hell away. That's the best way to get this going in the right direction. But I'm with you. I don't think that he's going to come back because they said it'd have been his decision if he wanted to come back. But it's been a couple days and you haven't heard anything. I feel like
Yep.
if he was gonna come back, that'd have been something we'd have heard Wednesday morning at the latest. So we'll see how happens that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Says Streets need another summer sessions at that Gucci and Shiesty situation. Okay, so I plan on doing one Tuesday. I plan
Oh,
on
we doing
plan
one
on,
Tuesday.
yeah, I plan on doing one Tuesday.
Hey.
And I don't really know much about the Gucci Shiesty situation, so y'all gotta fill me in.
I mean, it's without using some terminology that I don't think I want to use on this show. Um, it is definitely some stuff that we need to ask the proper people, um, because it's a lot of why in old in conversations that need to be had. I'm a
Okay,
neutron. No, I'm a
you're a
neutron.
neutron.
I'm a neutron. I don't get involved in these things. I'm a neutron.
Yeah, I don't. We say I'm not like those other Negroes.
Imagine you telling Pappy he can't get out his contract, and Pappy go call Illy and everybody, and they slide to the studio and they have a conversation that don't go well. So they up some arms,
That's hilarious.
and then you go tell.
The thought of Pavi and Illy kidnapping anybody is hilarious. But let's move on, man. Speaking of YNs and ONs, the NBA playoffs is kicking off tomorrow. I'm very excited about the NBA playoffs. Now, y'all know how I feel about the NBA regular season. I don't really fancy it like at all. I've watched maybe 5 regular season games front to back, and at least 3 of those 5 happened in the opening week back in October. But the playoffs have been very entertaining these last couple years. I expect nothing different this offseason. You're going to have the Pistons are going to take on either the Magic or the Hornets. I hope it's the Hornets. If I got to watch a series like that, at least let me get the more exciting player. And there's nobody in Orlando who's exciting as LaMelo Ball. You've got the Boston Celtics going to be taking on the Sixers. You've got the New York Knicks taking on the Atlanta Hawks. It's going to be a very entertaining series. And then you got you can't call it the NBA TV series anymore because NBA TV is not a thing. It's definitely the Amazon Prime series.
Hey man, they just need to kill NBA TV, fam.
They basically did.
They
basically did kill NBA
man.
TV. I don't even think I think they killed it.
Man, let me be your director of content, fam. Let me take over content
I
for the WNBA.
would say they should have been like the NFL Network, but the NFL Network was terrible the last couple of years, and then they got rid of the NFL Network basically.
They was paring down. They was definitely paring down for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. But you got that series, the Amazon Prime series, which would be Cleveland versus Toronto. Okay. Nothing says I'm spending the first 3 hours of my afternoon tomorrow watching soccer more than Raptors, not even Timber, what's the nigga's name? Raptors and the Cavaliers. And then on the West, you're going to have Shea and the Thunder going up against either the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors. Then you're going to have Wemby taking on the Blazers. You got the Lakers. Not the Lakers. You got the Nuggets taking on the Wolves, and then you got the Lakers taking on the Rockets. Let's start with that. This is the one last run for the old heads. So LeBron is going to be playing go to hell ball for 6 to 7 games. There is no Luka. There's no Austin Reeves. It's to the point where JJ Redick said we might need Bronny. That's how bad it's looking right now for the Lakers. And as bad as that looks, I still think they're going to beat the Rockets. That's how low I think about the Houston Rockets.
Whoa.
I will not pick Kevin Durant to beat LeBron James if Steph Curry is not on the roster. I'm just not doing it. I understand the Rockets have a better team without Luka and Austin Reeves, obviously. But something tells me that LeBron going to find a way. And this is going to be a very entertaining
okay, let me ask this question. Are you asking this question based off of your dislike for a certain slender basketball
I
player?
love KD. I love KD.
Or
I'm
are
a
you?
way bigger
Oh,
KD fan than LeBron.
well,
I
so
can't stand LeBron.
so you said so. I guess the second question is are you saying this because history and legacy and what LeBron has done in the past? Because I don't see no way that they win this.
This is not a basketball pick. If we're going off basketball pick, Houston should win this, and they should probably sweep or win in 5. But in the Rockets games that I have seen this year, the Rockets just be out there just getting cardio. Like if you got, and me and Pav talked about this on our NBA playoff preview, which is available right now on my YouTube channel, where he was like, "Who's shooting on that team outside of KD?" So there's gonna be stuff there. But I'm also looking at LeBron is gonna be going to this series carefree. Nobody's expecting him to win this series. Nobody's expecting him to win the playoffs or win the championship. And he just like, look, this might be my last playoffs. I'm just gonna go in there and go crazy. So that could be a thing. But basketball-wise, like you said, Houston should win. I'm just going off who I can see winning more. Like I can see KD tricking this type of thing off. That's how I can see. So you got them two, and you got Steph's big moment we had in the play-in game a couple of days ago, which was cool. It was cool to see Draymond lock down Kawhi on that last play. Al Horford clutch threes. All three really stepping it up for the old heads. I was talking to Pav about this on the special, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. This to me felt like the first season where the NBA officially turned all their attention to the younger players. But the old heads, the legends are still here, but they're kind of like, if this is wrestling, they're mid-carders now. Like, you might have, now I would say mid-carders. Mid-carders might be harsh.
No.
But like, they're not closing WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? They might be the second to last match.
No, I actually
on night one.
No, I know what you're trying to go, but I'm gonna disagree with you.
Okay,
I'm gonna disagree with you because I think you're in the right direction, but you're doing it wrong. I think this is passing of the torch time. This is Andre the Giant Hulk Hogan. Like I'ma still be around, but shit, you know what I'm saying? My back hurt. You know what I'm saying? My back hurt, and I can't really move like this.
This is when they threw Ric Flair in Evolution just to have him do something.
Nah, because Ric Flair was actually nice at Evolution for a minute.
He was, but he wasn't like Nature Boy.
Nah. He wasn't.
I was still watching wrestling when Evolution came out.
He wasn't Nature Boy, but he was still, he still toted that thing, because I still had these people with me.
They were tag team champions.
Kevin Durant is not on a team where he's not the lead. Low key, LeBron, I don't give a damn if Luka is there or not. LeBron James, to me, is still the lead of the LA Lakers. Once you get them to a team.
Know this?
Yeah, they know this. They just don't want to say it. They know it. They just don't want to say it, man. They just don't know. They just don't want to say it because they knew what happened to Luka. That just happened to Luka was gonna happen. So now they got to go back and be like, yeah, low key, we knew the whole time, my brother. Yeah, the only reason your wrestling analogy, I don't think that's the right analogy, only because they're the leader of their teams, right? Like if LeBron James would let's just move away from the LeBron James Ric Flair thing. They're still the leader of their teams. What I will say is this. This is what I actually love about the transition of the NBA. And if I were to say anything that might make Mike Stans mad, is that's what Michael Jordan took away when he retired.
Which is fine with me.
But
for argument's sake, it's fine with me.
But that's what he took away because there was no real true passing of the torch.
No.
When you look at, I'm only going to go from when I'm born, 1982, and I'm not going to give you the Philadelphia 76ers when they won in that year. I'm going to start with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson passed the torch to Isaiah Thomas in a way. Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson passed the torch to Mike. Mike didn't lose, really. When he was 6-0, he retired. Houston wins, he retired. San Antonio wins. There wasn't no real true passing of the torch.
He dropped the torch and Shaq picked it up.
Right. And then Kobe picked it up. Kobe did not lose in a final to LeBron James. That's why the LeBron James, Kobe Bryant.
Because LeBron decided, hey, I'm going to lose to Turkaloo.
Right. He decided to lose to, out of all the teams, the
Skip to Malu.
the Orlando Magic. So we got Orlando versus LA in a final. So it wasn't really a true passing of the torch, but he ends up winning it, right? Now we got two old heads going up against each other. You got Steph trying to play into a play-in game, and when they beat each other, or when they beat one another, and then if Steph actually gets into the eighth seed, then they got to go against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got to go up against the Denver Nuggets or the San Antonio Spurs. So then when Wemby or Shai beats them in a playoff, that feels like a true passing of the torch. Like when
the Thunder beat the Lakers when KD and them was on there.
Exactly. Or even better, when Anthony Edwards beats LeBron James and the Lakers, and he outside I thought it was Lakers in 4. Like
that shit was funny.
That's what I like about sport. When you finally overcome the old nigga. That's what I think is happening. That will happen in this case in the West. And I like that. I am cool with that. And now that, from a wrestling terminology, now that does put over Shai. That does put over Wemby. That does put over Jokic in his way, because now they're talking about there's a real good chance that LeBron James will decide to retire.
Yeah, especially we heard today that he don't want no retirement tour.
Right.
Shocked the hell out of me. But here's another question I have on this good wrestling comparison. The reason I said it kind of feels like they're like maybe mid-carders a little bit, because the main event, like, yeah, you still want to pass the torch, but Shea got the belt. He got the belt on already.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I mean, like, if you look at the main stories in the NBA right now, the stories are, can the Thunder repeat? Is Wemby actually gonna win this thing early? Are the Celtics back quicker than we thought they were gonna be? And are the Knicks actually gonna be serious for once and actually get over? Because the Knicks story is a little funny, and it goes to the next topic about playoff pressure. The Knicks have been being the cute story the last 3 seasons, making the playoff. So now it's like, all right, it's time to shit and get off the pot. So that's kind of what I mean about the old heads taking a seat back.
I think, if anything, the Knicks are the mid-carder. I think the Knicks are the mid-card right now. I think that the Denver Nuggets, I think they're teams that are mid-carders. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers is a mid-card team.
Cleveland Cavaliers is, remember Velocity? The Cavs on Velocity.
Like, yeah, I mean.
They on Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah, like to me, them are the ones that are the mid-carders. But in this case, with LeBron, KD, Steph, they are in the last of the, not necessarily the championship run, but this is their last gasp. This is Ric Flair.
They still getting title matches. They just not going to win them joints.
Yeah, this is, and matter of fact, I'll go as far as saying this was Steph Curry. If I were to, LeBron James could go to Cleveland.
This Kevin Nash, Bad Blood 03, when he got that last event.
So for KD, KD does feel kind of like Kevin Nash. Like he kind of, because like we forgot he was there. Like Kevin Nash dyed his hair and shit.
He is the Kevin Nash in the NBA.
LeBron James, like
Steph
LeBron
Curry is Randy Orton right now.
No, we're not gonna disrespect. We're not gonna disrespect Randall Keefe Orton, Bobby. You listen to First Black Champ. You'll know the love for Randall Keefe Orton, because Randall Keefe Orton is my prediction tomorrow night at WrestleMania. Who Stephen Curry probably is Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Going up against Shawn Michaels right now. I'm sorry. I love you.
Shea got to do the I love you kick.
Because he's not leaving Golden State,
no, of course not.
He's not leaving Golden State. And Golden State has, look, can we all say this right now? Can we all say this right now, fam? Steph Curry might not be the greatest basketball player of all time, but you know what Stephen Curry is? Stephen Curry might be the greatest play-in player of all time.
Oh, play-in MVP. I don't know.
Who?
I don't know. Somebody on the Bulls, because we've been there every year.
Nah, Jack. Stephen Curry.
White.
I saw a stat somebody put up that said that Stephen Curry got more 35-point games than playing games. And I was like, we just started this shit.
You know, it's funny. LeBron got to be number 2, because LeBron even made that joke on his podcast.
Yeah, so
he's like, for the first time in like 5 years, I'm not in the play-in.
Yeah, so when you start saying that, fam, when you start saying stuff like, this person is did this for that. Nah, man, Stephen Curry is the greatest player of all time, and Golden State is not going anywhere, fam. So this is Steph Curry. If anybody should probably retire to make sure that they don't mess up their
Steph.
shit, it is Steph. So for me, Shy is Shawn Michaels, and he about to super kick Steph Curry ass out of the NBA or
I ain't
out
gonna
of
lie.
NBA
I
relevance
damn near
at this
don't want
point.
the Warriors to make it because the Thunder finna be nasty.
Man, I don't want them to make it
They
either.
finna break them off.
I don't want them to make it either because I don't want to see Steph out there looking like they gonna look. I don't want to see it.
Man,
But
Draymond trying to
that
guard
is
Chet. God
man,
bless.
that is what's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
that's why I said if we want to do wrestlers, Steph Curry is Ric Flair. So I'm sorry. I love you. Super kick. Bow. You out the playoffs. Kevin Durant, man, you'll be around, fam. You might not even be Kevin Nash, G. You might be Booker T. Like you just might be around different teams and shit. You went from WWE to
They gonna put
TNA
him
back
on
to
the announce
WWE.
thing.
You got your own shit and that thing. We might put
So
you on
who's
the next
LeBron
team.
then?
Man, LeBron James is Andre the Giant.
Okay, that's an old reference.
Andre the Giant. For those who don't know, man, Andre the Giant was in the 70s, drop kicking people. He was 7'4", athletic as hell, coming off the top rope, drop kick people, all of that stuff. So he's the longevity guy. And then you're gonna have somebody that's going to hopefully take it over. And if somehow, some way, San Antonio versus LA end up being a matchup, then you're gonna have Wemby being Hulk Hogan, putting him out his misery, fam.
Bro, Wemby is going to send Staples Center to hell if that happens.
Hey,
I can imagine Jackson Hayes trying to guard him for 7 games. That's a funny image. DeAndre Ayton.
I don't think Jackson Hayes wants to imagine that shit.
No, he don't. I think LeBron wants to get eliminated, but goes out with him avraging like 30 points per game, so he can go play golf.
All right, so let me ask you this question before we move on, because when I saw this, I did ask this question: do LeBron James really want to play in this? Do he really want to be in this?
I think he does. This is why I think he does. I think he wants to play. I don't think he wants a long playoff run, because even when he was talking to Steve Nash on their podcast, he was saying how excited he is to finally be in a 7-game series and he don't have to be in the play-in. I think he knows that this is either going to be his last playoffs or his second to last playoffs. He just want to go out there, just play ball and have an opportunity maybe to actually start a game with Bronny, because they're so down without talent right now. I think he wants that. I don't think LeBron wants a deep run. Bron's won championships. He knows what it takes. He knows what waits them in the second round if they do get past KD. He don't want that on his legacy.
Man, can I be honest and say that I feel like LeBron James is done with all of this shit?
I actually believe he is too, but I do believe he wants to play in the playoffs.
I think LeBron James wants to get it over with.
So, all right, here's a better question.
Go ahead.
Chances that he retires in 2 weeks.
I feel like, okay, shouts out to my cousin Sam Silk, Chicago radio legend. He had an interview with Kendrick Perkins on his show. And Kendrick Perkins,
you bring that up, like, I don't know if you remember Head of State, where dude was like, and my cousin, Sharon Stone's cousin.
So I know Kendrick Perkins has been saying it, but he also said to my cousin on the show that he feels like LeBron James is coming to Cleveland. The only place that I can see LeBron James coming to is Cleveland. He's not going to do the old head link up.
Why though?
He's not going to do the old head link up and go to Golden State. If he goes anywhere, he's going to go to Cleveland. But then when you hear that he don't necessarily want
that's
a
why
retirement
it don't make no
tour,
sense, because it can't be to win.
So it literally makes if he doesn't want a retirement tour with a chance to win, because if you put LeBron James and if they keep Donovan Mitchell and they all over there at Cleveland, they are a team that can contend. However,
LeBron, Harden, and Donovan Mitchell is an expensive second round exit.
It's a very expensive, but he will have a better chance over there than he would have up in the West. with all of that being said, if you telling me that LeBron James, has been said that LeBron James doesn't want to do a retirement tour, then to me, he's
Cleveland
done
makes no
this year.
sense. Yeah.
Cleveland makes no sense. Golden State make no sense. And the Lakers definitely don't make no sense because he
The
don't want no retirement tour and he don't want to just hoop to be hooping. So it would not shock me or surprise me if that LeBron James is done as soon as they lose in the
the
first round
worst
against
kept secret in the NBA is that the Lakers want LeBron to retire. It's the worst kept secret. They want that so badly. In fact, the only reason they kept him around is for what we thought he wanted, a farewell tour. So they can get them farewell dollars. But if he don't want a tour, they're gonna be, please come off the books.
Yeah, come off the books, fam. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it a guarantee like we would do on First Black Champ. I don't want to make it a hot take, but I truly believe that this is LeBron James last year based off of everything that we're starting to hear right now. And it would not come out if LeBron James didn't want that to be said. I think LeBron James is done.
I would love nothing more. I actually don't know who am I gonna hate when LeBron retires. It's like I like Wemby. It's very hard for me to hate players who are younger than me. I don't know why.
That's James Harden.
James Harden is like a couple years younger than me. I'm talking about like 10, 15 years.
Oh, that's a wrap then, Scott.
Yeah, it's
you
over.
Hate Shy? It's over with.
I don't hate Shy. But see, that's the thing about these players. They don't have enough personality for me to hate them.
That's like, who you gonna hate? I don't know who you gonna hate.
Like me and LeBron is like Peter Griffin and the chicken.
But let me join this meeting though.
Oh, you got another meeting to join.
Yep. Yep.
I keep pressing the wrong button. Anyway, so let's get to teams with the most pressure in this playoffs, man. So the playoffs start tomorrow. You know, usually there's pressure on the defending champion to see if you can do it again. And I do believe there is a little bit of pressure on them to see if they can do that. We haven't had a repeat champion in 8 years now. In 2018, Warriors was the last team to do it. So I don't really think there's any pressure. If you hear my dog, I apologize. It's live. The mailman is here. That's his up. So I apologize. But if you look at what exactly has transpired with the Spurs, I think they're way ahead of the curve. Nobody's really expecting them to do too much. I even think something like a Western Conference Finals would be appreciated if you're a Spurs fan. You know what I'm saying? I think the pressure goes to the New York Knicks. And the reason that I say this is because they've been to the playoffs 3 years in a row. You got rid of Tom Thibodeau. You got a player who you spent a lot of money on players that you spent a lot. Whole entire roster. You know, you spent 4 draft picks to get Mikal Bridges. So I think it's put up a shut-up time now. I'm not expecting much from this Knicks team from the reasons that I said last summer when they hired Mike Brown. Mike Brown is not a bad coach, but he's a 40-degree day. I feel like you're only getting so far with Mike Brown. And I also said getting rid of Tibbs was not a wrong move. I told Knicks fans for months, there comes to a point where Tibbs can't get you over the line. I think Tibbs is a coach that can get you close to the line, but not over it. But if you're going to replace a coach of his caliber, you got to take it to another level. And that's why I thought they should have went and got a Mike Malone. But instead, they went for Mike Brown. And as we saw this year, it's been inconsistent. Obviously, another 50-win season, you know, played well, top 3 seed in the East. Got to applaud that. But they still have defensive problems. I don't think Cat is a guy who you can win a championship with as your number 2 option. So there's a lot of questions there. And they got a real tricky first-round series. Now, I expect them to beat the Atlanta Hawks. But this Atlanta Hawk team finished the year on a great run after trading Trae Young. I think they even won like 12 or 13 in a row at one point. Went from play-in all the way up to the 6th seed. So, impressive run for them. They could lose this series if they're not on their game. I expect them to be on their game. I expect Madison Square Garden to continue to be a fortress and be a tough place for people to come play during the playoffs like it's been the last couple of years. But if their defense continues to stay leaky and you can't count on Cat for consistent big performances, I can see them getting upset. So I'm gonna say that they have the most pressure, in my opinion, because I don't think there's that much pressure on the Thunder. Definitely don't think there's any pressure on the Spurs or the Pistons being a year or two ahead. And I think the most dangerous team is the Boston Celtics. I mean, I didn't think the Boston Celtics was gonna fall to like 7 or 8 or anything like that. A lot of people thought just because they lost Jason Tatum. I thought Jaylen Brown was at least capable of getting them a 4 seed. They've been way better than I thought. Jason Tatum came back earlier than any of us thought, and it's been actually really good. And they're my pick to win the championship. I am going full on hot takeish with it. And I think that they're going to come into this with no pressure. Like, remember all those past years, there was so much pressure on the Celtics for like 6 years. Can you get over the line? Can you get over the line? You know, should we break up Tatum and Brown? Can you win a championship with these two? They went through like 3 coaches. Brad Stevens, he felt like he couldn't get the job done. So he stepped down and went into the front office. Then you got Ime Udoka. Then he becomes the head coach, leads them to the finals. He gets caught up with some women. He loses his job. Then you go to Joe Mazzulla. He comes in first year. Everybody's like, who's Joe Mazzulla? And he wins the NBA championship. Then last year, unfortunately, they dealt with injury. And that's not to take away from the Knicks win. For any of my Knicks homies saying, we still beat them. Yeah, you did. Achilles or no Achilles, the Celtics were going to lose that series. But I do believe that now they're playing with house money. It's like, okay, we're looking a lot better than a lot of people thought we was. So let's go out there and try to do it. And I think they've got a pretty, I don't call it easy, but a nice draw for the first round. The Philadelphia Sixers are nobody to be scared of. We know how Paul George get in the playoffs. Joel Embiid is not going to play. And I like Tyrese Maxey. He can't get the job done by himself. So I think this is a real good year for him, man. So I think they're playing with the least playoff pressure. I was waiting for Bane to come back so we can get his series predictions because I gave my predictions on the playoff preview show. So I'll just give my thoughts on a couple of these series on what I think are the best series while we wait for him to come back. I just mentioned Knicks and Hawks. I think Rockets, Lakers will be entertaining more from an individual standpoint of seeing LeBron and KD being able to go for it in a 7-game series. Trying to think the number one series that I'm interested in series. Oh, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves. These are teams that have kind of put together a little mini rivalry these last couple of years in the playoffs, in the regular season. They're pretty split. I think this is the most complete Denver Nugget team we've seen since they won the championship 3 years ago. And I don't think that this is a complete Minnesota Timberwolves team. I don't even think they're better than last year or the year before where they made the conference finals 2 years in a row. But
And
this
their
is a
coach gonna
very
get fired.
important. Yeah.
Their coach gonna get fired.
Yeah, their coach going to get fired. I just think that coming off back-to-back conference finals, it kind of feels like this is another team I should add to my team's most pressure. When are you going to get over to the line of at least making the NBA Finals? Bang, who do you think are the teams with the most pressure going to this playoffs?
Man, that's a difficult question, mainly because when you look at OKC, they have a title. But as Michael Jordan would say, you ain't did nothing until you go back to back.
Yeah.
So there's pressure there. I was gonna say Boston, but even though Jason Tatum has looked way better than we
I think they're
thought,
playing with house money.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They now with that injury, it's like even though he's looked amazing, like he's looked way better than we thought he was gonna look.
Now you playing every 2 days.
Right now you're playing every 2 days and stuff, so we'll see that. But is that house money? Yeah. The Knicks,
I picked Knicks and Wolves. That's what I got.
yeah. So if I were to say in the Eastern Conference, it would be the Knicks. And I think part of the reason why it's the Knicks is because Giannis is looming over that team's head. He obviously wants to be a Knick. He said he wants to be a Knick. That's the team he wants to be traded to. But if you trade that man to the Knicks, somebody's going to have to go. Like somebody's going to have to go because you ain't got the picks because you traded all of them picks to go get Mikal Bridges.
And cap space.
Yeah. And so somebody's going to have to go. So on the Eastern Conference side, I would say the Knicks is the team with the most pressure. On the Western Conference, I'm not gonna say the Wolves, because I think the Wolves is in the situations where Chris Finch is probably going to get fired after this year, and they're going to try to make as much changes as they can. I'm going to say the Denver Nuggets, because for all of the stuff that all of the accolades that Jokic got, he only got one ring. And it feels like to me, OKC to move past them, and is that a rabbit? And you could also probably say that San Antonio moved past them. So if I had to make that prediction, I would say that I believe that Denver has the most pressure.
And by the way, too, we were talking about potentially the Lakers playing the Spurs. They would not play the Spurs. They would play the Thunder, because the Thunder get this lowest seed. And they're 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because the Thunder's 3. Not Thunder. The Nuggets are 3. So the winner of Nuggets and Wolves will play San Antonio, assuming that San Antonio beats Portland. So it will be – so Shea could be on this Randy Orton. Shea could be the legend killer. He could take out Steph, and he could take out LeBron. That's something you can have right there. Would you be interested?
Yeah, so yeah, I think Denver got the most pressure, because if OKC wins a second ring before they win a second ring, then it's like that one ring for you does what?
Yeah. But then it's also on the flip side, if they win, you're gonna put Jokic in some uncomfortable conversations with some people when it comes to all-time centers.
But he's already there, fam.
Yeah, but he's gonna really be in there with 2 rings.
With 2?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to put him past some of the, but he's not going past Kareem. He's not probably going past Kareem. He's not going past Kareem. He's not going past.
There's gonna be some Shaquille O'Neal fans who are gonna be very upset with me.
That's what I was gonna say. He's already top 5 to me.
Yeah.
But when you get the 4 and 5, when you get to Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaq, let me ask you, between Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaq, who you has is the best?
Take a Shaq every day of the week.
So it's Shaq 3 and Hakeem 4.
I got a controversial take on the Houston Rockets and Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm not disrespecting Hakeem. I think Hakeem was great. I just don't really honor those championships. Now, this might be because I'm a Bulls fan. I'm being biased. Everybody says, oh, how do you know Mike was going to win 8 in a row? Well, I never saw him lost a final, okay? So unless you got other proof that he didn't, just in my eyes, I'm going to say they would. So obviously, this is not like it was a lockout season. No, they earned those 2 rings. The series against the Knicks was very competitive, even though that series featured my first ever real big life moment that I remember, the OJ chase. I was 5 going on 6 when the OJ chase happened. I remember it like it was yesterday. That's like one of my first life memories is the OJ Simpson chase. And that happened during that final. But I think this is my thing about Shaq too, and this goes with Joker. As great as Shaq was, I also think Shaq underachieved. And I know that sounds asinine, but I do believe Shaq underachieved. And I even think Shaq would probably agree with me. After he yells at me and tells him to Google him, I think that he would agree with me.
Yeah.
I think because he had Kobe and then he had Wade, he didn't reach his full potential because he knew he didn't have to. Because he had these dynamic guards with him. I mean, he even said himself, I used to come to practice eating Big Macs because I knew that Kobe would give me 40 that night. And it would drive Kobe up a wall. So that's what I think. If you take Jokic and he wins another title, he goes in front of Shaq for me. But I also already have Steph Curry above Shaq. I got Steph in front of every point guard not named Magic Johnson. People got mad when I put him over there too. So that's what I feel about that.
The people gonna get mad at you when you put him over Isaiah Thomas.
I mean, I don't even think it's that big.
Don't you dare!
competition.
Don't
To
you
be
dare!
completely honest.
Don't you dare!
I know this your West Side brother. I don't think it's that. I want to be
Don't you?
blasphemous. I've got some other people I think is better. We're not
Nah,
gonna go
don't.
there.
To me, look, I'm not gonna hold you. There's only two people there's only three people that's involved in the greatest point guard conversation of all time.
Who's
And
that?
the only reason why two of them is in that conversation because they used to be best friends. Magic Johnson is number one,
Of course.
Steph Curry is number two, and Isaiah Thomas is number three.
That's fair. I'm not mad at that. I'm more of a Jason Kidd guy, but I'm not mad at
Oh hell no!
that.
I love Jason Kidd, but hell no!
It's partially I'm not an
Come
Isaiah
on,
Thomas fan because of Chicago Bulls reasons. But let's get into these series, man. Let's just kind of like speed go through these series and say who we going with. So let's start with the East. Pistons. It doesn't matter who they play. Orlando Magic. Well, actually, it kind of does matter. I'll put it like this. I hope that Charlotte wins this play-in game today. But I think both can push this to a 6-game series just because I don't know fully what Cade's health is like. Like he's been looking better since he's coming back, but like we just mentioned with Jason Tatum, you're going to start playing every 2 days now. So what's that stamina going to be like coming off that collapsed lung? And I think that, especially if it's Charlotte, you're just going to be out there playing free. And so I think you can stretch a little bit. I'm going to go Pistons in 6, no matter who they play. What you think about that series?
Pistons in 6. It might be a tussle. It might be a tussle or two, but Pistons in 6.
Okay, so we go to the next series, which is the Boston Celtics taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers beat out the Orlando Magic in a very boring play-in game the other night. Great games by Tyrese Maxey. And who's the young boy? His name escaped me. I can see his face.
VJ
right now.
Abercrombie.
VJ, you call him Abercrombie.
It's VJ Abercrombie or some shit like that. VJ Max, man.
Yeah, that buddy. I think that they'll put up a fight. They'll try to put up a fight. Like it'll be an interesting 5-game series. But I really think the Celtics are like, let's just get the series over quick. I covered the Clippers long enough to know that Paul George ain't gonna do nothing. So I'm not even gonna. Like when people were shocked that the Celtics lost, I was like, I covered this team for 3 years. Yeah, that's my man's name, VJ Edgecombe.
Edgecombe, whatever the shit, man. VJ Abercrombie,
VJ
Max.
buddy ass.
VJ Max, man. VJ and Tyrese Maxey. They call them what they nickname I thought was.
Even Sixer fans know they're not winning this one. I saw like somebody did like a fan wrap up outside the stadium when they won the play-in game, and it was like, come on, we losing to them, especially without Embiid. So I got the Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5, but man, I just want to say that Joel Embiid is the most unluckiest NBA player.
Yeah,
possibly since like Danny Manning or like Sean Livingston.
That's a throwback right now.
Like, yo, like, come on, fam. Like, if I'm him, I ain't like, yo, this shit's crazy, Jack. But yeah. In 5. They going in 5.
Going in 5. New York Knicks, the team with the most pressure, in my opinion, taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Like I said, this is a tricky series. They should win this in 5. I can see it stretching. I think they should. The Knicks. I think they should win this series in 5. I'm not picking them. I'm saying they should win it in 5. Because I know better, I'm going to say Knicks in 6. But I really do feel this Atlanta Hawk team, they're playing with no fear. They don't care. We're not supposed to be here. This would not surprise me if this is a 7-game series and they end up winning. It just would not surprise me.
Fam, I got the Knicks in 7. See, I've told y'all about the Knicks. This is the most try-hard team since the 90s, the early 2000s Atlanta Hawks. This is a work hard for no reason at all as New York Knicks team. They make things very difficult on themselves.
They're the Bulls without Derrick Rose.
Yes, they make things very difficult on themselves with stars.
Yeah.
So, nah, man, I got the Knicks, but I have them in the 7-game series.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I'm gonna try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I can definitely see that happening. Toronto and Cleveland. I'm just gonna say what Pappy said on the special we did a couple days ago. Cleveland better win this series. All that money they got on that team, all the people they didn't pay, they better win that series. This is, like I said, I will be watching Premier League at noon on Saturday instead of game 1. But I'm gonna pick Cleveland in 6.
I'm going to pick Cleveland in 6 too, but we talked about teams with pressure. I don't think there's a player in this playoffs with more pressure than Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Like,
It's been almost 10 years.
Yeah, like when you going to do it? I remember when Donovan Mitchell, I remember when the whole thing about, what's my man name that left left Utah, the white boy that broke his ankle and leg and shit.
Who, Gordon Hayward?
Yeah, Gordon Hayward. I remember when.
How does my boy look 14 and 44 at the same time? I don't know. It's a skill. I asked myself the same question.
But nah, I remember when he left and they drafted Donovan Mitchell, and I remember saying, I think they're gonna be okay. I don't think they're gonna miss a beat.
Back when they were comparing Donovan Mitchell to D Wade.
Yeah, but this is when he got drafted. I said, I don't think they're gonna miss a beat. And he became that second coming of D Wade. But what it also looks like is that he's D Wade without Shaq, and he's D Wade without LeBron Wade.
Like, stop comparing me to these niggas, man. He got hot people compare him to Harden.
Well, look.
Hey, Chicago came out of D Wade.
So, hey, look, from my man from Richards, hey, Donovan Mitchell is gonna look like you if you didn't have Shaq or you didn't have LeBron James, Jack.
Yeah.
And that's what it's looking like to me. He ain't did enough to be doing some of this jaw jacking about what's gonna happen if he don't win in Cleveland. Is he gonna want to go get a trade or whatever? Man, brother, you better get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I agree with that. With all the money they got on that team too, but hey, he did enough to get Coco Jones. So, he winning something.
Hey.
Moving on to the West, the defending champion Thunder. Definitely not as good of a season that they had last year. A lot of injury problems with Chet and J-Dub. But number 1 seed. So It really does not matter who they play. And I'm actually hoping that Phoenix wins because I said earlier, I don't want to see the massacre my boy. I don't want to see Steph averaging 30 and 30-point blowouts every night. I don't want to see that. So it doesn't matter who wins this game tonight. I will be going with the OKC Thunder in a nice, clean sweep.
I'm sorry. I love you. Super Kid. OKC.
It's a wrap. Spurs Blazers. This is kind of interesting to me because, and the reason I say that is because I don't believe the Spurs are just going to have some beating folks down type playoffs. This is the first time they've been in the playoffs in a long time, at least for the Spurs, a long time. And this is the first time in Wemby's career he's making the playoffs. And not to say that Portland's going to beat them. No, I'm not saying it at all. Portland can make this interesting. Portland can get a game or two, in my opinion, just because of the lack of playoff experience. And you got a guy, even like a Drew Holiday, and even though he's not playing, Damian Lillard talking to these young boys about these moments. Drew Holiday's won the championship. I think they can get a game or two. So I'm going to take San Antonio in 6. I think this can be fake decent.
I think this will be a fun series. I think this is going to be a very fun series. You're looking at a player that the Bulls were supposed to pick. Normally, this is the person that they
there's a couple of them.
Yeah, but in this case with Denny right here, even Denny, like, y'all thought I was going to the Bulls. Like, we all did, fam. Like, literally,
he was like 90% of the people I talked to said I was going to the Bulls.
Yeah, like, and every bit of us was like, yeah, the Bulls.
Orlando, I cannot post that comment, bro. Like, what are we doing?
We can't. Man, everybody thought Buddy was coming to the Bulls because that's the type of player that we draft, a European cat. And yeah, I don't think people knew and realized.
If Paxson was still GM, he'd have scooped him up.
Oh yeah. I mean,
that's a Paxson player.
But wait a minute, shit, that's an AK type of player when we think how much he goes overseas and stuff.
Yeah, but AK be drafting the bad Europeans. I don't even know the name of Buddy who he drafted last year. Is he even on the team? Like honestly,
Noah Zucchini.
he looked like a high French Scottie Pippen.
He messed up his shoulder, so he was out for the year. But they still got a little bit of high hopes.
When he on the Windy City Bulls, I've never seen him in the actual Bulls jersey.
Shit, I barely saw him play for the Windy City Bulls, but no. I think this is gonna be an amazing series, but it's still gonna end with San Antonio winning in 5.
Okay, I can see that. I just think there's potential for it to be a 6-game series.
But it's going to be the most fun. I think this series is going to have the most fun. If there was a series that I would suggest anybody to watch, it would be this series because you're going to get multiple young players to watch and stuff. And man, Chauncey Billups ain't going to have no job when he get back. Out of all of the people, who would have thought Tiago Splitter, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, who would have thought Tiago Splitter would lead the Portland Trailblazers to the playoffs?
That's crazy.
Tiago Splitter.
Rasho Nastarovich. That's throwback Stephen A. right there. But actually, I think the most entertaining series is this next one. I think Nuggets and Wolves is going to be cracking. I think this is going to be what the last 2 series have been. I think this is going to be another 7-gamer. I've got the Nuggets. They've been playing real well since they've been healthy. Really starting to get into a groove. Jokic is looking good. Aaron Gordon, whole team. Jamal Murray. Y'all know about playoff Jamal Murray. And I think Ant's going to put on a show, but I don't think he has enough, much of a supporting cast to get it done. But I hope to see KG at a couple games. It was good to see KG get some love when he came back home. Yeah, shout out to the Lords.
he gonna do this as he walked in.
Yeah, he did that a couple days ago.
I know. Like, so man, we KG. Get it, bro. We get it.
He shouted out the Travelers in his Hall of Fame speech. Yeah. That tells you everything you know about KG. But yeah, I'm gonna take Nuggets in 7.
I have the Nuggets in 6. I'm taking the Nuggets in 6. This would be a fun series from a different standpoint. From the standpoint of veterans playing. From the young standpoint, you want to see new young players in the NBA. Half of the 2028 Olympic team, you go from various teams and stuff and countries. You go look at San Antonio and Portland. If you want to look at OGs battling out and trying to get their first championship or another one, you go look at this series right here. But I got Denver in 6.
Final first round series, Lakers Rockets. This gets the late night treatment on Saturday. Like I said, the Rockets should win this series, but I'm rolling with Raymond. I'm rolling with LeBron, Raymond, James, and the Jamettes. I think they'll win this series in 7 because I don't trust Kevin Durant without Steph Curry.
All right, we all good. All right, I have the Houston Rockets winning this series in 6. LeBron James is going to give it a valiant effort. But I think we're going to get LeBron James losing in 6. We're going to get a standing ovation. And we're going to get Mike Breen or whoever is going to be the person that's doing the call
saying. It's got to be Breen.
We're going to get that person saying, could this
be the end?
The end?
Hey, you never know. NBC got playoffs now. They might roll out that young Bob Costas monologue before the game.
Hey, could this be the last? They're going to do it in the soft voice, too. Could this be the last time that we see LeBron, Raymond James?
it's going to start off
uniform.
Super cinematic. There was a young kid in Akron, Ohio in 1984. Like, he going to storyline it up. And then it'd be the 5th game at Staples Center, and they lose by 25. And he'll get a round of applause. So, and then he goes off and golfs and leaves us alone. But we're going to close with this. Who you got in the NBA Finals, and who will be NBA champion this time 2 months from now?
So I didn't do any preview shows or anything like that. And if I would have did a preview show, I would have picked the Detroit Pistons versus the Oklahoma City Thunder to be in.
Oh, you believe in the Pistons?
Oh, I believed in the Pistons. I am. I know when it comes to football, I said nobody likes the Detroit Lions but the Detroit
Yeah.
Lions.
Detroit
Um,
Pistons different from the Lions.
so in that case, yeah, it's that. Now, in this case, I've never been a Detroit Pistons fan, but I've respected the Detroit Pistons. They
Right.
have my utmost respect. So if this was the beginning
Well,
of the
the
season,
'04 Pistons have my respect. I don't know about the bad boys.
even the bad boys, because I hated them, but I respected them because they gave us the calluses we need to do our thing. So if this was the beginning of the season, I would have said Detroit versus OKC, but it is not the beginning of the season. I am going to pick the Boston Celtics versus the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm going to pick the San Antonio Spurs to win
mm.
the
I'm gonna
2025-26 NBA championship.
I'm gonna say what I said on my NBA player. I did do a playoff review show, full hour. It's on the YouTube right now. Me and Pappy. I'm gonna say what me and Pappy said on that. If you allow Victor Wembanyama to hoist the Larry O.B. in year 3, the league is over. I just want you all to know that the NBA is done. Don't even bother playing these next couple of years. It's a wrap. I think the San Antonio Spurs will make a long playoff run. I do think they'll get to the Western Conference Finals, and I know they beat the Thunder pretty much all season, but this is the playoffs. And I remember when the Bulls used to smack up the Miami Heat in the regular season every year when LeBron and Wade was there. And when the playoffs came, we didn't have a shot. And I think it'll be the same thing here. I've got Oklahoma City Thunder going back to the finals, taking on the Boston Celtics. And the Celtics are going to get their second title in 3 years. I am rolling with the Jays, Jalen and Jason. And I think they get. And my favorite coach in the NBA, Joe Mazzulla. And he said, the funniest quote he ever said, he said, it's a good date if we reenact the Bin Laden raid. I was like, I'm a fan of this guy. That's just that dark humor that I mess with.
And that man wild, G. That man wild.
So
that
shout
man
out to
wild.
Joe Mazzulla. But anyway, that is all we got for y'all today, man. Packed sports weekend. You got WrestleMania. Is it 2 days or 3 days this year?
It's 2 days. It's 2 days.
It's 2 days.
Been, yeah.
Okay. So 2-day WrestleMania. You got the NBA playoffs starting. If you're a big footy fan, a great Premier League slate this weekend. A slate that doesn't benefit my anxiety. That'll be through the roof on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. If y'all pray for me because these assholes have ruined 3 of my last 4 weekends. I would like for the 5th weekend to not be ruined. That's what I would like. So we'll see how that goes, man. I will be back on Monday with a new edition of Soccer for Dummies. We'll be back with I'm Not Gonna Hold You next week. And we will do a summer sessions on Tuesday. Happy belated birthday to our guy Merck. So we got a lot to talk about. It's been a while since we did one. So, Ben, anything you want to promote before we get up out of here?
I'm gonna hit up Camp to see what his weekend looking like. But it's definitely a possibility that we go live during WrestleMania. One of these days, Saturday or Sunday. I know we both got a lot of stuff going on, but there's definitely a huge possibility. So stay tuned with that. But we got a new episode of Some Dude that is out right now. We got First Black Champ coming up this weekend talking about WrestleMania. So y'all stay tuned for that. And then, of course, what we got going on right here. So y'all keep it locked to I Ain't Gonna Hold You.
Yes, sir. Everybody enjoy their weekend. We up out of here.